Hello, hello. This is Laura V from Laura V Studios, coming on for Awakened Soul. Yes. So, I have a question for you. Are you an empathic, highly sensitive woman who is healing from trauma? If you are, I feel for you. I've been on that healing journey for quite some time myself. And I'm here to share um, a some ideas on how you could um, heal faster and with less struggle. Let's say that, with less struggle. So, what do I mean by that? So, I started my healing journey. It was 2017, and my first um, wounded part revealed herself in a session. And that was the day I learned that I had been abused as a child. Didn't know before that. My mind had shut that completely off. So basically, all the trauma happened to someone else and not to me. Now, that person was inside my body, but was not me. So I grew up thinking my life was one way, while I had parts of myself who were like, oh no, there is so much you don't know. And so the learning began. And so I started in therapy and psychiatric hospitals and medication. And I learned a lot, but I remember the psychologist kept telling me, you need to find safety. You need to find safety. I'm like, tell me how. She couldn't. And so, I did not feel safe in my body and I did not know how. And I was dealing with body memories and flashbacks and all that good stuff. So then I found a craniosacral therapist, and she helped get some of the trauma out of my body, thank God. And that brought some relief. But I still, had a long ways to go. Let's put it that way. Then I found energy healers, and they helped me a great deal to start to work through this. But the real progress came last year in the fall of 2023 when I found a shamanic healer who uses IFS therapy. And IFS therapy is internal family systems therapy. And what it is it recognizes that you have parts of yourself that have been wounded and kind of separated from the healthy system. Um, and that fits. I have dissociative identity disorder. So I learned a lot about parts from a therapist who was trained in family systems therapy. So she helped me understand the dynamics of all the stuff that was going on in me, and it was crazy. Um, but we all have wounded parts anytime we were hurt as a child. And that's even, it doesn't have to be abusive parents. It could be a parent asked you to be quiet, and you took that as, oh, I can't speak for myself. Um and or it could be, it could be something simple that your child mind said, oh, I'm not allowed to do this and this hurt me. And if that isn't resolved, it stays with you. And so what I learned how to do was to partner with my awakened self to heal my wounded parts. Now, I was taught in traditional therapy, you have to learn to parent your child parts. I did not like hearing that. I had no idea how to do that. Because honestly, the part that was most active in me 90% of the time was a 16-year-old. So I'm just like, no, I did not feel at all equipped or capable of parenting my parts. But when I learned about my awakened self and she came in and worked with me, oh, that was a whole different story because she was in therapy. They talk about a wise mind, and the awakened self is the embodiment of that wise mind. It's a part of you that feels much more like a parent, much more like a capable, strong, confident, courageous part, who is invincible and compassionate. And that part of you, who I consider to be my higher self, is able to hold space for you so that you can feel the things that you need to feel from your wounded parts. And it was a game changer. It was a game changer for me. I was able to heal really intense trauma memories. Um, without being overwhelmed, without going over the edge, without needing hours of recovery time, um, with the skill of a skillful shamanic healer holding space and guiding the process for me and helping to, you know, take on some of that heavy emotional energy for me when it was a bit too much. Um, but really, like in 2 hours, we healed a part. And I felt lighter and happier and better afterwards, and not like I had been running a marathon for a week, you know? And so what I now get to do, crazily enough, um, I have learned how to do this work as well. How to hold space for someone who is healing a wounded part. And sometimes the healing can happen without needing to do an IFS therapy round. I'm not trained in IFS. I do parts work from an IFS basis. So I'm intuitively guided to facilitate healing for women. I work primarily with women. And my higher self guides me, and your higher self guides you and does the work. Um, and I hold space and facilitate the process. And so it could be that we use, we do parts work, or we simply do a healing invocation, and the guides are able to process whatever needs to be healed. It could be that we need to um, talk about something you're experiencing, and then I can kind of help guide you as to how to handle that. For instance, like triggers from strained relationships or negative thought patterns that have just been playing over and over, and you just want to stop the cycle. We can interrupt that and clear it so that that no longer controls or runs your life. Things like that. But what I want to offer you today as a solution, not go out and hire me or another healer, but um, I have a video. Sorry, it's late. I have a video on this channel called the Embodied Awakening Activation, I believe. And what I do is I take you through the Embodied Awakening invocation and a healing invocation. And that healing invocation can give you a really strong, solid start. Um, Another way that I can support you is I've done it before. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to hold a live, free healing event in October. So I do what's called I call it an a embodied awakening activation and clearing session. And in that session, I can, if the if the group is small enough and the need is there, I can create a custom invocation and take you through the healing process. It takes about 10 or 15 minutes to heal something, that's right there for you and reduce the symptoms dramatically. Believe it or not, it's that fast and that easy. And then I have a healing circle and I charge a $15 donation, for that. So those are some ways that I can help you, but definitely check out my video, guiding you through the embodied awakening invocation and the healing invocation, and that will definitely get you a start. But I just want you to know that shadow work does not have to be challenging. It can be light, it can be effortless, and healing from trauma does not have to take years, and get nowhere. You can do some significant healing in just a few hours and feel better and not worse afterwards. So I hope that helps and brings you some hope. So I'll see you next time. Bye bye.